The movie opens with an intriguing premise set in Lincoln City, a place praised as America's fastest growing economy and a hope for the future. The city invites people with superpowers to register, promising a grand vision of progress and innovation. However, this optimistic start quickly gives way to a darker reality. Since the Second Industrial Revolution, the demand for workers with superpowers has drastically decreased. Businesses have shifted their preference towards automated systems, leaving many powered individuals without employment opportunities. This lack of job prospects has inadvertently pushed powered citizens towards a life of crime. Criminal syndicates, recognizing an opportunity, have started exploiting these individuals for their unique abilities. One such criminal organization, known as the Trust, has been particularly nefarious. They engage in the illegal and inhuman practice of extracting spinal fluid from powered humans to create Psyche, a highly addictive drug. This activity has contributed to a rise in drug-related problems in Lincoln City, prompting public outcry for stricter laws governing the use of superpowers. The city's police force has adapted to these challenges by deploying drones and advanced robots called Guardians. These machines are tasked with monitoring and apprehending powered individuals working illegally without a permit. This heavy-handed approach to law enforcement reflects the growing tensions between powered individuals and the authorities. The story then introduces Connor, an electrically superpowered individual who's trying to make ends meet in this challenging environment. Despite his superpowers, Connor finds himself in a precarious situation, working as a temporary laborer at construction sites while seeking more stable employment. After an unsuccessful job interview, he heads to a construction site, hoping to secure work for the day. The foreman allows him to work, but their brief respite is interrupted by a police inspection, aimed at ensuring no powered individuals are employed without proper permits. The situation escalates when the police discover that one of the workers has an outstanding arrest warrant. As the police attempt to arrest a wanted worker, he reacts defensively, emitting fire from his hands in a desperate bid to escape. This act triggers a swift and deadly response from the Guardians, who descend from the drone and fatally shoot the worker. Simultaneously, in another part of Lincoln City, the police carry out a drug raid on an apartment belonging to a powered individual. The suspect in the apartment manages to temporarily disable a Guardian robot with a well-aimed throw of a disc. However, he's soon cornered by Officer Park. The raid uncovers a harrowing scene, a room filled with superpowered individuals being exploited for their spinal fluid. A stark illustration of the extent to which powered individuals are being abused in this society. The plot thickens as the police uncovers multiple bags of Psyche, a drug created from the spinal fluid of superpowered humans. The discovery links the apartment to Marcus Sutcliffe, a notorious crime lord involved in the Psyche trade. Meanwhile, Connor visits his mother, Mary, at the grocery store where she works. Mary, a cryokinetic with the ability to manipulate ice, is criticized by her boss, Dave, for accidentally freezing and dropping a sauce. This incident hints at Mary's struggle with controlling her powers, a difficulty compounded by a brain tumor. Connor, witnessing his mother's humiliation, nearly uses his power against Dave, but restrains himself. The confrontation ends with Dave dismissively asking them to leave the store. On their way home, Connor urges his mother to start chemotherapy, but Mary reveals the grim reality that they can't afford the treatment. The next day, while waiting for his side job, Connor encounters a van from Lincoln Power. Despite his friend Travis's warning about the van being associated with Sutcliffe's crew, Connor approaches the vehicle when the driver, Garrett, seeks an electrically superpowered individual. Connor negotiates a payment of $200 up front and joins the crew in the van. Inside, he meets Freddy, another powered individual who communicates with him through sign language. Garrett takes the group to a chemical plant, where Connor is tasked with disabling an electric fence. After a failed attempt with bolt cutters, Connor resorts to overloading the fence, while Maddie, another superpowered individual, melts the lock, allowing access. The heist nearly goes awry when a guard tries to intervene, but Garrett uses his telekinetic power to disarm him. After successfully stealing chemical barrels, the crew encounters a police drone searching for a red cargo van. To evade capture, Garrett instructs his team to disguise their vehicle, successfully throwing the police off their trail. Garrett then leads the crew to Sutcliffe, who possesses the ability to read minds. Inside Sutcliffe's club, tensions are high as Wesley Cumbo, a representative of the Trust, confronts Sutcliffe for failing to meet his payment obligations. Sutcliffe, forced to prove his loyalty, reads the mind of his associate, Copperhead, revealing Copperhead's violent thoughts towards Cumbo. Cumbo gives Sutcliffe a 1-week ultimatum to settle his debt. Garrett introduces Connor to Sutcliffe, who upon reading Connor's mind, deems him useful. Sutcliffe instructs Nia to show Connor around, but Connor remains cautious, indicating he's just passing through. Sutcliffe, unable to pay Garrett for the chemicals due to his debt to Cumbo, discusses another job with Garrett, seeing potential in Connor's powers. Back at home, Mary informs Connor that she tried to get her job back at the grocery store, highlighting their dire financial situation. Meanwhile, in the club, Nia informs Sutcliffe of her psyche shortage. Sutcliffe offers her a vial, but with a condition attached. On the streets, officers Park and Davis investigate the chemical plant robbery. They deduce that the chemicals were stolen to dilute Sutcliffe's psyche and identify the roles of superpowered individuals in the heist. Park instructs Davis to compile a list of electrically superpowered individuals capable of such a feat, setting the stage for further conflict as the people close in on the powered individuals involved in the crime. The plot continues to unfold as Travis warns Connor to be cautious when working with Sutcliffe's crew. Despite this warning, Connor is drawn to a job opportunity with them when he sees Garrett's car arrive at a construction site where he's waiting for work. Garrett, still skeptical of Connor's intentions, questions why he chose to work with them instead of pursuing a legitimate job. Connor reveals his desperate need for money to pay for his mother's chemotherapy, illustrating the difficult choices he faces due to their financial struggles. Garrett decides to test Connor's abilities by challenging him to deactivate a car alarm outside a diner. As Connor successfully completes the task, Garrett promises him a substantial payment of $25,000 for their next heist. This revelation of Connor's father being shot during a robbery adds depth to Connor's character, showing how his upbringing without powers was intended to protect him from a similar fate. In preparation for the heist, Garrett begins training Connor, starting with simple tasks like lighting a bulb. Initially, Connor struggles, but eventually masters the ability. His training escalates to collecting payments from drug dealers and confronting another electrically superpowered individual who refuses to pay. Connor's frustration with his situation leads him to confront Dave at the grocery store, threatening him for how he treated his mother. At home, he lies to his mother about securing a permanent job, but outside the house, Officer Park and Davis are conducting surveillance on him. They become suspicious of Connor's activities due to his financial struggles and lack of stable employment. Connor's involvement with Sutcliffe's criminal activities intensifies as he and Garrett scope out a bank for a heist. Despite successfully disabling the vault's power, the heist takes a turn when they discover most of the money has already been cleared. Faced with drones outside the bank, Connor uses his powers to bring them down, allowing their escape with a fraction of the expected take. But at Sutcliffe's club, tensions escalate as Sutcliffe and Garrett argue about paying off the trust. The situation becomes deadly when Copperhead shoots at Sutcliffe, but Rhino intervenes, using his bulletproof body to protect him. Connor's intervention saves Nia from Copperhead, who's then killed by Rhino. Following the chaotic events, Connor finds Nia using Psyche and learns about her indebtedness to Sutcliffe and her healing abilities. Meanwhile, Connor's mother confronts him about the money he's been hiding, leading to an argument about his involvement in crime. The stress causes Mary to lose control of her powers and collapse, prompting Connor to rush her to the hospital. Then, he learns that the cost of her necessary surgery is beyond his financial reach. Outside the hospital, officers Park and Davis attempt to coerce Connor into providing information about Sutcliffe in exchange for help with his mother's medical expenses. Despite their pressure, Connor maintains his innocence in the chemical plant and bank robberies. Frustrated by the lack of evidence, Davis suggests planting evidence on Connor, but Park is dismayed by the idea. Connor's determination to save his mother leads him to propose a risky plan to Sutcliffe, intercepting a police transport carrying $10 million worth of Psyche. He strikes a deal with Sutcliffe, asking for Nia's freedom in exchange for his participation in the heist. Sutcliffe, realizing Connor's plan to use Nia's healing powers for his mother, reluctantly agrees. The plan also elevates Garrett's status in Sutcliffe's organization, marking a significant shift in their criminal hierarchy. Soon after, the tension escalates as the team plans a high-risk heist, with Connor insisting on not harming any law enforcement officers. He approaches Nia, the healer, and promises to release her once she heals his mother. Nia, however, is frustrated with Connor, feeling that her value to him is solely based on her healing abilities. On the day of the heist, the team meticulously sets up roadblocks, anticipating the arrival of an armored van transporting Psyche. When the van is diverted, the team, including Maddie and Freddy, takes action. Garrett stalls the van with a garbage truck, and Connor unleashes a powerful electric surge, disabling the Guardians. The team skillfully takes control of the situation, using their powers to neutralize the guards and secure the Psyche. However, the plan quickly unravels when Rhino and his men betray the team, leading to a shootout. Rhino fatally shoots Maddie and wounds Freddy. Garrett and Connor manage to escape with Freddy, but he later dies to his injuries. Back at Sutcliffe's bar, Rhino delivers the Psyche to Sutcliffe, who coldly offers Nia a vial of the drug. Sutcliffe hints that he cannot release Nia due to her father's debt. Connor, grieving the loss of Freddy, blames Garrett for their failed heist and accuses Sutcliffe of betrayal. At the police station, Davis names Connor as a prime suspect in the heist, but Park argues that Connor is merely a pawn. Connor visits his mother in the hospital, promising to find a way to treat her, but she pleads with him to let her go. Meanwhile, Park faces personal challenges with his daughter, Lena, who's afraid of being denounced for her powers. Travis, acting as a messenger for Connor, arranges a meeting between Connor and Park at a diner. Connor offers to help the police capture Sutcliffe in exchange for turning himself in. During a police raid at Sutcliffe's bar, a shootout ensues. Sutcliffe, Nia, and Rhino escape, but Garrett intercepts them. In the ensuing confrontation, Rhino is killed by Connor and Garrett, and Nia refuses to heal a wounded Sutcliffe. At the hospital, Connor brings Nia to heal his mother. However, seeing Nia's struggle, he stops her, and his mother passes away. Outside the garage, Park and Davis discover Sutcliffe's body. Connor surrenders to the police, ensuring Nia's freedom. In the aftermath of the tragic events, lawmakers propose a ban on the use of powers in Lincoln City. Park and Davis are commended for their bravery. Garrett meets with Cumbo, paying off the debt owed by Sutcliffe. The story concludes with Connor visiting his mother's grave, reflecting on his inability to see her for a while. Nia visits her father in prison, hopeful for a new beginning free from Sutcliffe's control. The movie ends on this note, painting a picture of the complex struggles faced by powered individuals in Lincoln City. Man, that was like a dark, twisted Incredibles movie. What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? Let me know in the comment section below. And hey, while you're doing that, make sure you click the like button on this video if you enjoyed the movie recap. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way until the end. If you want to see more awesome movie recaps, then make sure you're subscribed to our channel and click that video on screen now. Thanks. I'll see you in the next movie recap.